Welcome. Welcome, folks. This is quite possibly one of the last streams, possibly one of the last streams of the year. What? One second, folks. Howdy, howdy. Welcome, Heat. How's it going? It is Friday, finally. There we go. It is indeed Friday. I just got my headphones to connect. Nice. How's it going? Good, got some new bud called Dry Ice. Nice. Folks, today is going to be a bit of a short stream, but we're just here to hang. We got like maybe one or two stories to talk about, but other than that, I think we're just gonna chill. Um, if you guys are just tuning in, and you guys want to support the channel, there are many different ways of doing so. Make sure you keep liking the stream on YouTube and head on over to the Substack and subscribe. It's free. Join the Discord, folks. This Saturday we're going to be streaming a movie. I'm not sure which one quite yet. Heat. I mean, we still have like uh, a few choices in the in the suggestions. I mean, we can do Pixels. That's a pretty I think it's a pretty chill movie. I think it's like a perfect background movie. Um yeah, let's do that. Yeah, it's a perfect background movie cuz like in case, obviously people be out and about. So it's a perfect background movie, I think. Craft is welcome. Welcome, welcome. Echo Resto Dragon, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub for 11 months. Just just one more month and you will earn the black ADT badge. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Which, by the way, I think Twitch is doing like a discount. Is doing like a discount on subs. So it might actually be worth it. Did you see Francesca Fiorentini is arguing with Jenk right now? Like live right now? Is that happening like live on Twitch, I guess, or on their channel? Yup. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, what a time that I picked to stream on a Friday, right? What a time to pick to stream while this is all going on. Oof. Um what are they arguing about? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that Francesca is probably not gonna be uh associated with TYT for very long if that continues. Oh, his apparent turn to the right. She's totally calling his BS. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that is a good freaking conversation that needs to be had, right? Especially from within, if that makes sense. Especially from within. Because Francesca's not like a random Twitter troll, okay? So they can't use that excuse that it's just the Twitter left who are crazy. Um, uh, you know, Francesca's the real deal. So no excuse there. My husband asked the over under on whether she'll quit today or next week. Oh man, the New Year's surprise. The New Year's surprise. That is actually good. I'm glad this conversation is happening out in the open, right? Because also, I think it's important since TYT, while their subscriber and base has been diminished within these last uh, year and a half or whatever. We'll say year and a half to maybe close to 2 years. They've been on a pretty downward trajectory, so to speak. So to have this out in the open for the audience to hear that this is coming also from this criticism and this critique, I should say, is not just as Jen claims the random Twitter sphere. people that are just trying to attack him, um, and and to not pay any mind to the legitimate criticisms that he is receiving. This is coming from his colleague, right? Like a person on the network um, that's associated with them. I almost tuned in and then I saw you came on. Oh man, what a day to pick. Because like normally I don't even stream on Fridays, but I figured, you know what, um, streams are going to be probably limited next week as well. Like if there is a stream, it would probably end up having to be like on the 30th. If there is even a stream until after the new year. So you know what? Just in case I don't get to do another stream, I figured I might as well I might as well do this for the potential last stream of the year, if not outright last stream of the year. Because I'm pretty sure that next week is going to be a little difficult. I'm sure everyone will be rehashing it this weekend. Oh man, wow. Content gold has just dropped, everybody. I mean, like, seriously though, uh, it's an important conversation that needs to be had, and I'm glad that it's being had. Now, whether or not Jank will take these criticisms, or not, I don't know. You know, I thought he had refused, but he changed his mind. Good, good. It's so frustrating because it looks like they agree on the parts but not the whole, or the facts but not the conclusions. Yeah, I feel like that's a very Jank thing to do. Um, it feels like, and of course I don't know Jank personally, but it feels like Jank is the type of person that it seems to be an immovable object, right? Even when he's what's the saying? Even when he's wrong, he's right. Does that make sense? Jank seems that type of person. Even when he's wrong, he's right. I notice he seems to be more calm with Franny than his nephew, but he was not. He was most calm on Turning Point. Yeah, I imagine. I mean, like with Hassan, he might have a little more room to be more aggro because uh, family. Not that it makes it okay, but I feel like that's probably what was going on here. Jank is a classic narcissist. Yeah, it feels like that that's it feels like that tracks, you know? There was another person from DYT that just quit. They quit on air. Um they quit on air last week or the week before. I don't know. It was very recent. Um and yeah, I mean like well yeah, I believe so. I believe that's their name. I can't quite remember exactly. But they quit on air and yes, okay, Mandala on Ben Dixon show. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean like, there's there should be uh, I, I would hope um, that there should be some introspection if all of this is happening, right? Because like, man, if I had a network and my network was a incredibly successful uh, left leaning, quote unquote, the home of the progressives, and I'm having progressives leave my network left and right, I think I would maybe sit down and have a think about what's going on over here and why that's happening, you know? I didn't know him, but I did see an interview afterwards. The Vanguard has been all over this. Gotcha. Mondeo. He just thinks that they're all too woke. But like that's falling into the same like BS framing, right? Like, oh, they're disagreeing with me, so therefore they must be some crazy far left woke people. Therefore, you should discard that opinion. Yeah, but if he does it, it's okay. Gotcha. This makes sense. This makes total sense. Michael Hassler, welcome. Quadrius Bennett, welcome. What's your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day tradition? That is actually a good question. Uh, Normally we just stay. We normally the tradition is to stay with family and have a big dinner. Um, I mean, like way back when. Um, we used to have a huge family dinner, and we would all just stay. And we would all just stay. We would all just stay home, and we'd have like a bunch of family coming together and eating dinner. I'm making shrimp Alfredo for dinner on New Year's Eve. Nice, nice. That actually sounds pretty good. Well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about whenever we come back with this, because I think there's a broader conversation to be had. Um, and honestly, like I feel like maybe I feel like maybe it would be best if I feel like maybe it would be best if Jenk just comes out and says what he wants to say up front, if you know what I mean. Does Kwanzaa and watches it all burn. She's pleading with Jenk to not put all progressives like Emma under the bus. Yeah, and like, man, there's nothing really to gain from doing this. Like, what is the point? What is the purpose of doing that? Uh, why? You know? And out of all the times, why now? In in a pivotal moment when presumably you would want as many progressive allies as possible. It just seems so silly to attack um, people like Emma Vigeland and the Majority Report, and and whatnot. Today is some other Swahili word. Unity. Yesterday was the first day of Kwanzaa. Gotcha. Well, I'm learning something new. Emma's not a bad actor, and Sam Cedar's not a grifter. No, I don't think so. No, I don't. I don't think so. Jenks off his rocker. Being progressive doesn't mean being a leftist. Usually, these two things align, right? Like, usually the whole point of um, usually the whole point of being progressive is because you want to uh enact progress, right? Like that's the whole point. Um, and usually that is involving civil rights and stuff like that. Usually the advancement um, of society, right? Like progress, progressive. Um, most, I would imagine, most left-leaning people would be progressive just because of how the ideology works. Man, and here I was going to sit and talk about the current MAGA civil war that's happening over who can be more racist. Um, here I was going to talk briefly about MAGA and their current civil war over immigration, and we just get dropped with this. Faux Machina, welcome. Ace Frame, welcome. What? Loomer versus Musk? Yes, exactly. Progressive is only covering the bare minimum of moral cuttery parts with the minimum effort, which is derived from the middle class or upper middle class. I think he got fed up. He's enjoying the loomering. I think he got fed up with people leaving his group after he built them up and not bowing down after the fact, whether they went to the right like Ruben or just become successful like Hassan and Emma. Yeah, but like I think it's like I think there's obviously like, a part of that where he feels, I guess, entitled to some kind of fealty. But like that seems kind of weird, man. To be so caught up in that you would make this whole stink about this, right? Like if that's like the fundamental issue, then like there are other problems here, because like um if I had built if I had built a successful network and a couple of people became successful um, because of my success, and at least a percentage um, went on and continued or branched out and spread more left leaning ideology, then like I did my job. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. Jenk should be happy that people like Hassan have found success. People like Emma, and with her joining the majority report, have found success. Um, I just don't. It's just so incredibly weird that if that's the crux of it, then like, why, man? Why would you be so annoyed? And think that you're entitled to like fealty because you helped launch a couple of people's career. I don't get it. Musk personally stepped in to screw with her Twitter account. How can the FCC not act? I don't know. Um, this whole thing with like Elon Musk and MAGA has been really freaking hilarious. Um, as it turns out, Elon Musk is not a big fan of free speech, even though people swore up and down that this guy was some kind of free speech absolutist, and that Twitter was going to be a bastion of free speech. And as it turns out, that's not the case. He's a big fan of his free speech. Exactly. Exactly. And this all started um, over a argument over immigration. So, according to several news outlets, and if you've seen the Twitter, personally, I just don't go on the Bird app anymore. Um, it is very rare. I've stopped posting on Twitter um, over a month now at this point, and I don't have it on my phone. Um, so my interaction with Twitter is very, very, very limited. So you can go and find. I mean, I already blocked Elon from on Twitter a long time ago, um, and I've probably blocked a significant amount of these far right accounts, anyways. So I really don't see the live interactions. I see like the screenshots that are floating around. And I highly recommend you go and check those out. If you want, there's like a bunch of discourse on this in Blue Sky. Um, but this all started with essentially an argument over immigration, and specifically the H1B visas. That's what started this whole brouhaha, this whole kerfuffle, if you will. Obviously, as a oligarch and as one of the biggest fish, if not the outright biggest fish out there, Elon is interested in his own. Elon is interested in his own pocket, and of course, he's going to argue that despite Trump's aggressive anti-immigration stance and anti-immigration policies that he supposedly wants to implement, there should be exceptions that, of course, coincidentally, uh, benefit benefit Elon, and that is to make sure that H1B visas have exceptions, and to take that into consideration, um, because of course Elon needs um, these uh, highly skilled workers, which that's how the visa program works or whatnot. It's a lottery. Blue Sky is so nice. I've subscribed to about 2 dozen anti-fascist block lists, so they never appear. It's very normal, so different. Plus, I get a lot of more attention on my normal posts, which goes to show Twitter's heavily suppressing normal, progressive people. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, yeah, I think so. Even my like small 20 something follower account, at least I get like some interaction here and there. Whereas even my 500 and something follower account on Twitter, it'd be, man, you'd be hard pressed to get any interaction. Some comments, may make may make the cut, but overall, I mean, I just never saw that much interaction on Twitter as much as I have on Blue Sky. I didn't use Twitter, but now I check Blue Sky regularly. Yeah, Blue Sky is actually pretty chill, and I tend to use that more often than not. Certainly more often than Twitter. So yeah, Twitter is pretty much done now. As far as I'm concerned, Twitter doesn't exist. At least that's how I think of it. Well, I'm now definitely gonna have to check what's going on here with that debate between Jenk and Florentini. Twitter is the equal of Truth Social now. Yep, Twitter is just a more mainstream Truth Social. That's basically what it is. It's just a bigger Truth Social. Some old rich white guy's ego forum. Yep. Vivek Ramaswamy has also chimed in on this MAGA civil war on the side of Elon, because of course he's a venture capitalist. So their interests are pretty much aligned. They want an expansion of the H-1B visa program for highly skilled workers, which has set a argument about how this should fit into the aggressive immigration agenda. Musk and Ramaswamy, according to CNN here, defended companies who use H-1B visas, arguing tech companies, including those owned by Musk, which of course this is the whole reason why he's doing this, right? This is to protect his own pockets. Depend on foreign workers to operate, but their message rankled some of Trump's most loyal defenders who expect his administration to crack down on immigration and promote American labor. Trump restricted access to foreign worker visas during his first term. And targeted the H-1B visa program in past remarks, but during the 2024 campaign, Trump has signaled openness to giving some foreign-born workers legal status if they graduated from a U.S. university. Cognizant welcome, ceiling tile stream, 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole. Can you? Is there? Oh, wait, actually, no. That's just the air vent. Um, the ceiling tiles that are missing actually are on that side. Incidentally, don't ever listen to Cognizant. Understood. Understood. In a social media post on Wednesday, Musk said U.S. tech companies need double the amount of engineers working in America today compared to the benefits of the program to a professional sports team recruiting the best talent from around the world. Oh, I meant tiny holes. Oh, phrasing. Where is that from? Is that from The Office? Archer. Okay, there we go. Gotcha. Gotcha. Lana. I've actually never watched Archer either. Oh my goodness. Danger Zone. You know, here's an excellent litmus test here. If they're so like gung ho about being racist to foreign workers, um because like this like basically like what this was this MAGA civil war is a race to the bottom, right? As to who can be the biggest piece of shit. Um, so here's a litmus test. If you're so concerned about these H-1B visa workers, um, then perhaps maybe we should consider uh, eliminating student debt and making colleges and higher education something that we we provide as part of being a society uh, and a society that can provide it has that has these resources and wealth absolutely can provide this. So like if you're so concerned about all these H-1B visas, then like why don't we just erase student debt and why don't we um, do universal college and universal higher education where we would have um, said workers, right? Because that would ostensibly be a solution, right? Um, you want to promote American ingenuity and promote American labor. Well, let's do that by eliminating student debt and and making college and trade schools free, and see how they react to that one. I mean, like quite frankly, none of these people are talking about any of that. Um, so I doubt that that is a conversation that's being had. Um, it's just more like nationalistic rhetoric. Episode one is a must. All right, all right. Well, I guess I have to add Archer to the list. That's the right favorite sports season races to the bottom championship series. Musk tweeted on Twitter. If you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be. That enables the whole team to win. Or um, you could also make higher education free, where personal files determine the score. Yep. I'm referring to bringing in via legal immigration the top 0.1% of engineering talent as being essential to keep America winning, said Musk in another post. Thinking of America as a pro sports team that has been winning for a long time and wants to keep winning is the right mental construct. Question mark? Um, first of all, like he thinks that there's some kind of like essentialism here, which is kind of weird. But second of all, if you really care about if you really care about making sure that like you have the best talent, why don't you, like, I don't know, provide the skills here at home, right? It just doesn't make any sense. The US has a lack of medics because the only people who can afford med school can get the education, and even after graduation, there's a council of doctors who may not hire you because they want less doctors, so there would be a scarcity and their salary too high. Rural doctors are especially hard to come by. Yep. Because when you have a for-profit system, contrary to what free marketeers would tell you, it would not and does not allocate resources where they are needed all the time. Say, like the whole, I think I was just watching James from the internet, and they were talking about the post office. That's a perfect example, right? Like everyone needs their mail, but if you privatize a service like the postal service, they're not going to go where it's expensive to go. So, like, this is why you can't privatize certain things. Medicine and healthcare is one of those things. Um, so yeah, you can't privatize things that are necessary for society to function, because uh, the primary motive would be profit, right? So if it's not profitable to say deliver to your area, then they're not going to deliver in that area. Correct. Privatization isn't about solving a problem; it's about profit and nothing else. Exactly. Hence the phrase "it's just business." Some fools think they can just resort to UPS and FedEx because they don't know those companies send mail through USPS, right? And like because they offshoot that to the routes that they think that they're too expensive. That's why that happens. I was watching them too. Yeah, James is great. I'd love to offer to stream some Archer on Discord on December 30th as part of the chat and chill. All their welcome time is to be determined. Yeah, I mean, if you want to take over, go for it. Um, I'll be around, so I might hop in as soon as you guys are ready, if I'm able to. Um, so yeah, feel free. I'll most likely be home. So That was crazy. Sending a letter cost $20 without the post office. We can't. Yeah, exactly. We can't disband the post office anytime soon, right? And like just like that, you know, when you have a when you have something like say doctors being you know well, not doctors but medicine healthcare be privatized, then yeah, you're gonna have scenarios where you're going to see things like that. Certain things should never be privatized in society to function. Some things don't need to be profitable, uh, like healthcare, education, transportation, energy, and communication. Right? Because like things like this, like it's not optional, right? To run a functional society, especially like here, you need roads, you need communication, um, you need healthcare, all this stuff, because like that's how society functions. Um, and it's should be a service, not it should be a service and not a profit enterprise. So going back to Elon's comment, quote, thinking of America as a pro sports team that has been winning for a long time and wants to keep winning is the right mental construct. No, it isn't. That is the most absurd way of thinking about it, because like America is not a sports team. This isn't a competition, dude. Like the whole point of government, um, the whole point of government is to function for the people, right? Like you have a government to govern, right? Like there's no competition here. Um, you're supposed to be just a service, really, for the people. And something transitions from luxury service to necessary infrastructure, you nationalize it. I think that's a pretty good, um, not philosophy, but pretty good train of thought. Because like as soon as something becomes a necessity, then you shouldn't have the private sector, as Heat points out, come in and take over. Vivek Ramaswamy, a first generation citizen whose parents immigrated from India, and concurred with Musk while defending companies that look outside the U.S. for labor, arguing tech companies hire engineers who were born outside the U.S. or born to American immigrants because, quote, American culture, question mark, has venerated mediocrity over excellence, question mark. I mean, like that takes some like wild mental gymnastics and like I don't know how to put it, but like, is that not the definition of Elon Musk? I have no idea what he meant by saying that. I don't know. Look how socialism ruined Russia, China, and North Korea. People who like socialism are all crazy. That's so cool, dude. Wow, that is such a. I'm so glad that you are blessing us with this phenomenal uh political analysis. Like you're blowing all our minds right now. With this giant brain with this giant brained analysis. Um, Well, I was only venerating the mediocrity with my mediocre next door neighbor this morning. Um, the right does praise mediocrity. That's why they always are against they're always anti-intellectualism and higher education. That's true. Um, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that they don't even know what they're talking about. Probably not. Socialism is when the government does something, and when the government does a lot of things, that's communism. Uh, in China and North Korea, people are forced to work and don't get paid. Is this the life you want? Yes, that's uh, that's definitely the definition of socialism. Um, as opposed to capitalism, where we're forced to work multiple jobs and still not make enough to pay rent. Um, and we're being told that this is the better. We're being told that this is the better and only alternative system. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, it sounds like a wash to me. Like we talk about um all these problems while just describing the problems with capitalism. Because as far as I know, uh, I'm forced to work. Um, I'm forced to work because if I don't work, I don't eat. That's literally how this works. If I'm not forced to sell my labor to a capitalist, I don't eat. Okay. I don't pay rent. I don't eat, and I don't have a roof over my head. I have my health care taken away. So yeah, I'm kind of forced to work no matter what, whether I like it or not. Um, whether the wages that I earn are fair or not, it doesn't matter because hello, rent is due in 3 days. So yeah, in civilized countries, if you break your leg, you don't have to starve as a result. Correct. I love how like random trolls come in here thinking that they're gonna be um trolls in this chat, and they just end up getting bodied. Not just by me, but by the chat themselves. That's actually too funny. Working and then getting money to live is normal and fair. No, it's not. People all have the opportunity to succeed through work. That's also not true. Some of the hardest working people are some of the lowest paid wages, are some of the lowest paid workers. So that's just not true. Like this is just some like wild delusions that you're um wild delusions of that you are just I don't know, you dreamed it. Maybe you live in an alternative universe and you're somehow communicating with us, and you found a way to communicate to us through an alternative universe. But that's just not true. Working and then getting money to live is not normal. That's not normal. That is a construct that we created. And no, people don't have the opportunity to succeed through work. Again, some of the hardest working people are the lowest paid workers. So like, it just doesn't make no sense. Someone's been staring at those corporate motivation posters in the office. Working for peanuts for people who own the corporations until we die is working great for me. Yep. Yep. I'm saying under socialism, you don't have to go all the way to communism as I understand it, but we can discuss elsewhere and other times. In America, even if you don't want to work, you can depend on the government aid to live. This often comes from the taxes of the rich, and that's a fair society. No, actually, we pay most of those taxes, um, and that's not how that works. If you don't want to work, you can't just say I don't want to work. Okay, that's not how that works. You can't get government, and you can't get government aid. And in the event that you do get government aid for specific reasons like disability, um, or let's say unemployment, um, that's not enough. There are other social safety nets in other places where you would be completely covered and able to find another job, and able to continue to receive the social services that you need. In this country, that doesn't happen. So no, there is no, you can't choose not to work. That's not a thing. Oh man, like I said, I don't know. Maybe he just, maybe this person just lives in an alternative universe and he's communicating, um, and he's communicating to us through an alternative universe. I come from a socialist, former socialist country. People never had a view of tomorrow. They had a free house. If they didn't like their work, they could just move to another job. You would not think of not having a roof, not having to eat, and not having money. Oh, people never had a fear of tomorrow. Gotcha. I mean, like, it's just simply put, like, getting rid of the just bombastic rhetoric aside, we as a society can have a system. Um, uh, okay, now I know this is a troll. All right, now I know this is a troll. Goodbye. Elon Musk's annual tax payment is the equivalent to a lifetime tax payment of everyone here, unlike the CEO of ChatGPT, who's a leftist who evades taxes. Unlike Elon Musk, who checks notes, also evades taxes. All right, that's enough. That's enough rage bait or troll bait or whatever. Look, you were entertaining for about 5 seconds, okay? You were entertaining for about 5 seconds. Um, but anyways, I mean, like, I called that it's the rich. Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this person's probably not Elon Musk rich. So it's kind of like, it's kind of sad and frustrating that, like, a lot of, and there are some people who, I don't know if this person genuinely actually believes a single word that they just said, because the absurdity of it all just sounds so absurd. It just has to, it just feels like a troll, just to get a reaction, or whatnot. But in any case, it's just so sad and frustrating seeing how, like, billionaires are actively working together in their class interests, and they have immense class consciousness and understand that and protect each other, and yet you have normal working class people, because I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that this person is not a capitalist, by any stretch of the imagination. um, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is not, we're not dealing with a capitalist, not a real capitalist anyways. Um, uh, and they incapable of having class solidarity, and would rather run to bat, whether it's a joke or whether it's a troll or whether they believe it. I don't know. Um, in any case, the point is still the same. To run to the defense of a billionaire who doesn't care about you, who would extract every living cent out of you, it's sad. It's sad and frustrating, because there are real people that believe this, by the way. Anyways, I live in a rural town. At least half really do think like him. The same ones never check facts and never been to another country. Oh, he joined today. Okay, that's definitely a troll. He'll join again tomorrow too. Yeah, it's definitely a troll. Off-world colonists, welcome, dude. Class disunity is a major problem and is a major reason of why things can't get better. Not the only reason, but a big part of it. Yeah, I mean, like that's exactly the. At least, at least this troll left us with this important talking point and conversation. That yeah, you're right. I think that I think that class consciousness and class solidarity needs to be worked on 24/7 around the clock, all hands on deck. Um, and the more people that are aware of what's going on we continue to make the point and make the case in however way we can that it is the capital class and as Craftus says, yes, there is a continuous efforts uh, to divide the working class, and usually that's done through the culture war, which is why the right is so obsessed about it. Everyone who works for a boss is part of the working class, but now they're trying to divide that between blue and collar and white collar jobs. Yeah, it's like the same concept as low skill and high skill workers, right? Like that's not a thing. You're all workers. You have people that make 500 a month more than you and somehow feel closer to capitalists than you will support policies that benefit billionaires. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. If you are not a capitalist, if you do not own capital, if you're not an owner, right? Um, then if you do not own the means of production as a private entity, right? Then you are not a capitalist. Okay, I'm sorry. You are a worker, and therefore it would be in your interest, okay, if all of us as workers would collectivize and work together and have some class solidarity, like the billionaire class has solidarity. These people need to stop living under the delusion that they will be rich someday or have the same priority as the rich now. Right? It's like that Futurama Futurama gag, right? Where Fry was like, "Oh, you better watch out because when I'm rich, because one day I'll be rich or something like that." And then like the other person's like, "But you're not rich right now." He's like, "Yeah, but I might be, or I will be in some, or I could be." And Fry's not very bright. I work in tech and work with people who think like this. They think that they're better than electricians or carpenters. Let's see how a network can run with electricity or physical offices, right? And like, um, it doesn't matter, right? Like, it's all labor. It we all are workers, okay? We all are the working class. I mean, unless there's a hidden capitalist in the chat who owns their means of production, who owns the private a private enterprise with means of production with the who owns the means of productions in a private enterprise, and like chances are most of us are workers, right? Um, we have to sell our labor to a capitalist. That's just how it is. That's the system that we live under. Most of us do. Um, it would probably behoove us to work together and kind of take what's ours. We really are one of the most propagandized, if not propagandized, if not outright, one of the most propagandized societies. It's amazing. It's actually genuinely amazing just how propagandized we are, that we have working class folks running to bat for the billionaire oligarch class, the capital class. It's actually amazing. Anyways, Vivek, quote, our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 90s and likely longer, question mark. That doesn't start in college, it starts young, he wrote on Twitter. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers. Question mark? You know what else doesn't produce engineers? Having tens of thousands of student debt. You know what else doesn't produce doctors, engineers, uh, programmers? Strapping your populace and potential workforce with tens of thousands of debt, dollars of debt. Blue collars are leftists because they actually see the problem that comes from socioeconomic issues, while white collar workers who don't have the fear of tomorrow, but they could still go homeless if they lose their job, are progressive since it's just the minimum effort for them to feel good voting right. Yeah, but like, I don't think it's just that simple, right? If that makes sense. I think that certain white collar. I understand what you're saying about the professional managerial class, yeah, and it kind of like creates this situation where we have like the professional managerial class, the i.e. white collar workers, thinking that somehow they are closer to the capital class than the working class, and we've been kind of conditioned to think that say a plumber is less than a computer engineer or something like that, you know? Did I do that? Speaking about STEM specifically, lots of them are socially liberal, not leftist, but socially liberal, but economically centrist or classically liberal. Their ivory tower, like when Holly said, they're two bad quarters away from being on the street. Exactly. Exactly. I'm saying that the middle class white collars prefer capitalism, while a leftist, by definition, is anti-capitalist. Well, I don't disagree with that. It's just that I think it's a lot to do with like the conditioning of how we view or how we view things, um, because a person who perhaps is not as wealthy uh, as a comfy professional managerial class person, they may not see the same struggle, even though we're one or two paychecks away from like complete disaster. So yeah, I think that that's more of a that's more of a capitalism's self-preservation mechanism, right? I feel like the word I use to describe them is liberals. Liberals, right? I'm starting just to get angry with liberals as conservatives or the center right. It's been building up for a while now. Um, we have more in common with a homeless person than with a millionaire. Yes, that's true. Uh, I agree. I think the problem with liberals or liberal ideology is that um, I think they're incapable of conceptualizing the critiques that we. Oop, that's my microphone. The critiques that we give of capitalism, because they benefit because they are ultimately defenders of capitalism. So while they may be allies in certain social in certain social fights, and that's important. Ultimately, they they don't quite they're not quite there uh, when it comes to capitalism. I've seen more statistics that state more. I've seen some statistics that the middle class now is almost non-existent. Yeah, I mean, kind of. It's all kind of screwed here. I don't know if it's similar around the world, but it's all kind of screwed here. Um, really. The support for foreign workers sparked attacks from MAGA supporters who are concerned that an expansion of H-1B programs could undermine their wish to see brown people deported. Loyal Trump backers like far-right activist Laura Loomer and conservative pundit Ann Coulter and former Representative Matt Gaetz have criticized the two tech entrepreneurs over their stance. Quote, "We welcomed the tech bros when they came running our way to avoid the third grade teacher picking their kid's gender." Question mark? Um, and the obvious Biden-Harris economic decline question mark, said Gates in a social media post on Thursday. We did not ask them to engineer an immigration policy. Well, Matt Gaetz here fundamentally doesn't understand that, like, we, we need immigrants, right? Like, if you're not gonna provide free education, okay, if you're not gonna provide good benefits, good wages, um, to American workers, and you're not going to provide social safety nets that would encourage people to go into these fields, then, like, yeah, dude, we're going to need immigrants. Like, I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. That's just the way the economy works. Of course, Matt Gaetz yapping over on things he knows nothing about. Um, Incidentally, the Matt Gaetz report apparently dropped, and it is oh boy, it's not nice. It's not great. It's not good. It's actually pretty freaking gross. Um, if you've watched any content on what that report contains, it's pretty gross, to say the least. Right. Musk and Ramaswamy's comments also drew condemnation from the former UN ambassador Nikki Haley, who responded to Ramaswamy's post by calling on the incoming administration to prioritize American workers over foreign workers. Quote, "There's nothing wrong with the American workers or the American culture, question mark. All you have to do is look at the border and see how many want what we have. We should be investing." Like, it's not so much as like people coming over here and going like, that's what I want. It's more like people coming over here because there's no other choice. Does that make sense? Like, the situation in the global south is not great. It's not good. Um and uh they're gambling that this is better than not living, than dying. Does that make sense? This is better than not dying. So of course, because there's a very valid reason why someone would say, you know what, I'm just gonna pick up what I have, and I'm going to make a thousands of miles trek, um, by foot, by train, by car, and that's what I'm gonna do because the lols, right? No, um, the what they want, what these immigrants want, is to live. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, the American dream is a dream because you'd have to be asleep to believe it. Notice the line of the American is America is the land of the milk and honey, or the streets are lined with gold are long gone. Coming to the U.S. is about surviving now, not about dreams of riches. Correct. Would you debate Richie Torres, and do you think that we should immediately annex the Panama Canal? No, this is an absurd proposition on both ends. Why would I debate? Um, why would I debate Richie Torres? These are absurd propositions on both accounts. Oh man. In the name of truth. What truth? I don't understand. What truth? In the name of truth. What truth are we debating? Because I'm not debating truth. Sorry. Richie's truth. What is Richie's truth? I don't know what that means. Asked and answered, I feel. Yeah, I feel like they're not going to last. Oh, really? To be determined. That's cool. To be determined, I suppose. To be determined indeed. I don't know. At least be interesting. You know? If you're going to be a troll, at least be interesting. At least have something to offer in the conversation. Not just some, like, random sea lining crap. Not even fun to play with. Yeah, like, not even... You didn't even give us something to riff off. At least the other troll... Or... At least the other troll gave us an excellent conversation about the merits of the state of worker. At least the other troll gave us a conversation about the state of worker solidarity. Okay, and how we should improve class consciousness and worker solidarity. At least we got something out of that. All right, I'm going to finish this article and then we're out of here. Let me make sure I got this going. All right. I'm going, folks. Give me 1 second. Okay. 100% what I got out of that interaction too. Yeah, I mean, like, at least that's, at least we can say something there, you know? But, if you're just gonna be boring, then nah. Nah, I think I'm good, you know? Musk and Ramaswamy's position has found support among some Democrats as well. Quote, they get it partially right, absolutely, said Colorado Governor Jared Polis, told CNN's Caitlin Collins from The Source Thursday night, saying that he applauded the recognition of the value of immigrant entrepreneurs while hoping that they also see that role in lower skilled immigrants and that have in other sectors of the American economy, such as agriculture and construction. They don't. See, this is the problem with Democrats, right? Um, like, no, man, we know who these people are. They don't care uh about immigrants per se. Only to the extent that they can use them, right? Even right wingers are tired of Musk. Yeah, but they're tired of him because they're he's basically like softening the stance on immigration, and they're mad that they can't. They're mad that he's not. They're mad that they're not getting the full bigotry, um, uh, and in their eyes, that's a deviation from the cult. Does that make sense? The problem is the deviation from the cult. And also, uh, they're also learning. These right wingers are also learning that Musk isn't as free speech as they thought he was. So, yeah, as it turns out, a billionaire oligarch does not have their interest in mind, only to the extent that he can use them as pawns. The H-1 visa program allows about 65,000 high-skilled workers to immigrate in the U.S. each year to fill a specific job, and grants another 20,000 visas to such workers who have received advanced degree in the U.S. economist degree in the U.S. Economists have argued that the program allows U.S. companies to maintain competitiveness and grow their business, creating more jobs in the U.S. The program is often associated with the tech sector, where companies have a demand for specialized workers. Musk came to the U.S. as a foreign student and later worked on an H-1B visa. Trump has previously opposed H-1B visas, sharply criticizing them during his first presidential campaign as a vehicle for abuse. In a 2016 statement, Trump attacked the H-1B visas as a method for U.S. companies to bring foreign workers into the country for the explicit purpose of substituting American workers at lower pay. So, I mean, again, if he was actually interested in solving this issue and like wanting to give a boost to American workers, then like I don't know, man, just make college free, okay? Make college free. It's that simple. Yeah, H-1Bs are only a problem when brown people use them. Correct. Correct. So this is what this whole entire kerfuffle was about. That triggered a civil war within MAGA, and I think that's pretty funny. That they're finding out that Musk is actually not a free speech absolutist, and that Musk has absolutely no problem censoring them if they don't agree with him. Are community colleges free in the U.S.? No. No. They're more affordable. They're more affordable, but they're not free. They're not free at the point of service. Mind you, the U.S. at any time has given close to almost 100K free tech jobs that there's no supply, no candidate pool for. Right. They're cheap, but not free when they could be by using taxes. Right, simply no candidate pool for. Yeah, and like again, if you want to encourage that, then like I don't know, man, make college free. If you go to a private college, you get the stigma of being dumb and your parents bought your diploma. That's an interesting concept because like to a certain degree here that's actually kind of true, right? Like if you're wealthy and you go to a high end like private college or private university, I mean, like it's not really like something that we think about. But yeah, there's a good chance, like George W. Bush, right? Like he okay, he bought his way through Yale, right? Because he's wealthy and influential. But well, he was wealthy. But anyways, yeah, it's an interesting way of seeing it. We don't really conceptualize it like that here. All right, folks. It's about to be just under 7 o'clock, so I got to get out of here. Folks, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. It really does help us out. I appreciate you guys hanging out in chat. I appreciate the support. Thank you for the subscription. Um, Please feel free to join the Discord, and if you're on the YouTube, there's a couple of you there. Keep hitting the like button. I appreciate it, and join the Substack, folks. Join the Substack. Check it out. Check it out. Okay, it's free. It's free. If you want to support the channel directly, hit up the merch store and hit !tip. You can pay. You can also pay for state college if your grades are failing too much, but it's like $1,000 a year, and you can always switch to free after. Nice, nice. I wish we had that option. Honestly, I agree with you, Craftus. Don't worry. I agree with you. Nice stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, come follow my channel, friends, for cozy gaming. Yes, please consider following Heat 420 underscore. Yes. Next time you stream, I need to make sure I catch that. Let us know. Feel free to also post it on add everyone and post it on Discord as well. But yeah, I gotta get out of here, folks. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. We'll be back if we'll say like the next year, just in case. If it's possible that I can do a stream, then sure I'll announce it. But otherwise, see you guys next year. Take care. See you tomorrow on the Discord. Yes, if you're gonna join us, please feel free. About 6 p.m. I'll start just streaming. I think we should do pixels, or I don't know. If we find something else, we can stream it. Doesn't really matter. It's just about hanging out. Happy New Year. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hasser, for modding the chat. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I'll be on. I hope to see you guys in the next year. See ya. All right. Well, I thought we were going to be able to go raid, but it's coming. Don't worry, folks. It's going. It's just taking its sweet time. Okay, there we go. About 1 minute, folks. Hello again. Yes, about 1 minute. It's going. It's taking its time. I thought I could put a 30-second timer and it would be okay, but I guess not. I guess not. All right, folks. Let's try it again. Bye-bye.